Hello, everyone. Who have we got in here? Oh, man, weekends. Good evening, Catalin, P. Douglas, Melissa, David. Luke hates Christmas. He stomped on a mince pie 3 times. He once shorted a cat on Christmas Eve. I love Christmas. Christmas is good, but it's busy. But yeah, how is everyone this evening? I thought I would hop on a quick stream, cover a bit of the price action for the weekend. I mean, there hasn't really been much to talk about. Luna's made a new all-time high, so that's interesting. Other than that, there's not been much that's been going on. So I'm just going to have this as a, once again, on these evening streams, these fairly chilled ones. Yeah, open for questions, open for whatever people are wanting to know about. I do want to go over this on Luna. So if we do get a decent breakout on Luna here, and I'm not sure we will. So this to me looks like a, I don't know if I'd want to short it, but I wouldn't feel confident that this is going to get much continuation. Unless, of course, we do get Bitcoin doing something nice at the start of the week again here. So yeah, Luna having a nice move up. The thing with this is it's kind of low volume. The volume's decent, but anyway, next targets on Luna if we are to go higher. I have done a little bit of work on here, and we've got some confluence coming up around the $88 region, then again around the 92, and then again around 104. So those are the main areas that I'm really looking at if this were to get like a proper breakout. But yeah, we'll monitor this anyway. I think it'd be interesting to see where the daily closes on Luna, so I will take a look at this in a bit. This was a really nice trade, by the way. So this was one that we'd taken like last week before last, golden pocket on Luna. Pretty straightforward trade, like Luna being one of the most bullish cryptos in the whole space. So that as a trade, relatively straightforward. Okay, was ideally looking for this to go down a little bit lower, but it was there, kind of spot buying back in just on the off chance. And here's a take profit level. You've gone up a pretty decent amount, so I mean we're up 50%, so that's pretty good. And yeah, after a pullback of good 35%, so we're up 50% on this move. There could be continuation. 88, 92, 104, $100 is going to be obvious. Psychological level as well. So yeah, I thought I would start on that today. Who else is in here? Dan, Vasilu, Andy, Steve. I think I said hello to Eleanor. Oh no, Eleanor here as well, and Melissa. Similar pictures, and yeah, I thought you were the same person. Dan, Eleanor, Andy, Steve, Oth, Oligard, David again, Johnny M. Cool, Liquid, Talby, Evening, David Peckham, Gap, Fake Out. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So let's just go over onto Bitcoin and take a look at that, because we've had a pretty decent move up, and this daily level just continues to hold as support here. It's not particularly exciting as a level. I mean, this is what I'm looking at on the higher time frames. I'm going to hide this anchored VWAP. This is basically what I'm looking at on the higher time frames, is like if we get a daily close back above this, reasonable enough, but then that's a pretty ugly looking candle anyway, so I don't know, pretty neutral at this point. I feel like if this isn't the low, and I was out and I had bought that low. I can remember coming home on Friday night, the market was panicking. I was like, this is just taking so much money to push this price down this far, and it's just not working out. They're not able to push this down. Buyers are in complete control here. So despite what most people will tell you, I do strongly believe that buyers are in control here, and as soon as like it's really not taking much effort in order to get price to move up, so that can be done very easily right now. So we'll see if this does get a move up. It will be the first higher low we've put in since there's high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Could this make a higher low? Possibly. We'll see if this could change the market structure and start to put in a bit of an uptrend. But I'm really neutral on the chart here. I have bought some around this area, spot holdings, slight long position. Feeling kind of okay for the next week ahead, but I would not be surprised or worried at all to see price come down towards this 42, 43, 44k area. So that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Auth, yes, we do have. There's a few like different harmonics with this as well. Like we could still be looking at possibly a larger cipher in play if this does make a higher low here. So if we're going to go for, whoa, that was wrong, we could be looking back up somewhere around here. Whoops. So this would then become basically what's our current weekly open and what will become our new weekly level. So there could be a move back up to here, and actually that would be quite nice. You continue to play this range. I do think this range has a little bit more time to play out, maybe over Christmas, but we'll see what happens there. And yeah, Oth, you were saying that there is a possible Gartley on the 1 hour. Is that the same thing that you're looking at? And I'm looking more... well, I've just drawn this. Never mind about that. Venerio cleaned out Decred DCR from the low all the way up. I haven't looked at Decred. That's yeah, be interesting to see that. So yeah, Bitcoin pulling back slightly. Of course, we have had the CME open now. So, I mean, we could have, like, we kind of knew this was going to happen. It's a weekend. It was going to be a low volume weekend. CME opening at the same price that it closed at, pretty much, like give or take a couple of $100. That was pretty obvious that we were probably going to get that this weekend. It wasn't looking likely that we were going to create any major kind of gap here. So very neutral on this. We've just pulled back to fill anything within that. There's this tiny little inefficiency on the chart here, but I mean that means nothing. Yeah, so CME back to where it was, where it closed on Friday, after a pretty big move down that it had on that day. So that's okay, that's pretty standard. Daily open here holding ish. We got 20 minutes left, and yeah, we will see. So let's just go on to here. I got a little peppermint tea and I keep getting the tea bag. Let's get that out. All right, where were we? So yeah, we could be looking at something like this then. It's pretty shallow, but we could be potentially looking at something a little bit like this. Forget that wick. Coming down to the 786 around here. Then you could look up towards again those same kind of targets from the the bigger level that we have going on, like the bigger harmonic that we've got here. So there's the potential for that. Malta's YouTubers. Is that a cup of tea, Luke? Luke, yes. It's not a normal tea. It is a peppermint tea. I'm being healthy tonight. Mazg, hey Luke, what is the fair price of BTC right now according to VWAP, etc.? So, obviously session VWAP, we've just been chopping around it. Okay, everything's pretty like low volatility for now. Not really getting any major movements. We do have an anchored VWAP from our 29k low that we do need to be aware of, so that is coming in just above price. Now this wouldn't be unusual at all. Look what it did back here. Okay, putting in a low, you test below VWAP for a while and then you reclaim it and you just go off again. So right now we're at a discount. I was saying this yesterday, everything on chain is showing that this is at a discount, so we are below what the market or what the spot market considers. In my opinion, from what I've seen, we are quite significantly below what the spot price and what the actual market and the on-chain stuff is saying is fair value. So that's pretty decent. It wouldn't take much money at all to get this back up to 50k. I do believe that buyers are in complete control of this, despite this having moved down quite significantly. People are saying this is really, really bearish, but it's taken a lot of money. We can look on the CVD. We can see just how much money it's been taking in order just to keep prices this low. And this is mainly coming from like Asia exchanges, which we don't have that data for. But even on here, yeah, you've got, not Binance. What am I looking at? Binance are always buying because they're just degens. But the people who are actually moving the markets, right? We're down about 600 million negative delta on FTX. Price making a higher low, despite $600 million worth of selling. Here we're looking at, again, another $300 million of selling. So yeah, it's I'd say we're at a discount. I've been buying spot within this range. The things that interest me, I'm not going to pull this up on the stream, but again, in crew, if anyone's interested to look on the charts, or actually anyone can just do this on Bybit, there's a really interesting market overview section. So if you click on markets on Bybit, there's an interesting market overview section that gives you a lot of the on-chain stuff. It's actually quite nice. I can bring it on in here. There's a thing called into the block. Let's make this dark. So this is quite nice. It just gives you a bunch of on-chain stuff and it's free. It's a lot kind of clearer information than stuff that Glassnode and stuff gives you. What was I going to do? I was just going to show on here so you can track a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to go through it on here, but check it out. It's into the block. .com. I think it's one of those new analytics things. Found it interesting, but basically anyway, there's some interesting stats on there that shows generally the net flows from exchanges at the moment are the lowest that they've ever been. So first of all, anyone that keeps getting panicked about inflows into exchanges, which always happens during times when things are maybe a little bit more bearish, people are getting a bit panicked by the inflows, but the outflows are way higher. People's average, so they have a really interesting chart that's showing out of all futures accounts and accounts on the Bybit exchange and futures trading exchanges, this is the first time all year that people have been at negative. So people have been at a loss on their entire accounts, despite the fact that we're up from 30k up to 46k. People are at a loss right now, so people have been losing more money than they've been making during this year, which shows to me pretty clearly that this is coming back towards that area of really good value. You've shaken out retail, you've kind of done the job, so that's fairly bullish. And for the first time in a year, the futures price is now lower, consistently lower than the spot price, so that we are in this. It's called backwardation. So you have contango and backwardation, or whatever it's called, and we're at that phase in the market now where you have the perpetual contracts, the futures prices below spot, which means that spot, there's obviously, whereas we're used to a lot of buying from futures, we're now going the other way. People are starting to sell their futures contracts. They're selling at a loss now for the first time all year. And yeah, just generally kind of everything looks okay on the market. So yeah, I think we're getting to that point. If we do go a bit lower, fair enough. But we're getting to that point where this is a really good opportunity to buy for me. I'm not worried about this at all. This is like not phasing me in the slightest. So yeah, kind of nice. I really didn't explain that very well. I'm tired. But you get the idea. We also have all of this stuff going on FTX. I'm not sure if this is what they're really showing here, whether we do come into these buy walls or whether these are just kind of tricking the market into everyone thinking we're going to go lower. So people may be selling here being like, oh, I can buy when it comes down to 40k. Maybe there's a bit of a tactic going on here with FTX that we might not ever come into that area because it looks too obvious. I'd imagine if we do come into this, if price comes down into this zone, I'd imagine it gets pulled. All these bids get pulled. I'd just be surprised if it's that easy. The price just comes into this massive block of just demand. I think we either front run it or this gets pulled, and yeah, maybe we still find support in this area, but I don't think this will all get filled if we do come down here. I don't know what else to say on the market. That's kind of where we are. Got 10 minutes until the daily close, so we'll see what happens with that, and then we'll have, of course, a new weekly open. We will have a new week of trading ahead of us, and we'll have a lot of data, mainly, and a lot of liquidity, mainly to the upside. So I am leaning slightly more bullish for the week. However, a dip down to 43 or something would not be bad at all. Let's get the likes up a little bit in here if we can. Let's see if we can get up to like 50 likes, as usual, in here. Chat's gone kind of quiet, so if anyone has any questions or anything that they want me to have a look at, please do ask, because otherwise I'm just going to keep rambling on and I don't really know what to talk about tonight. Yeah. Funding rate's negative. It's kind of sustained now, so been like that most of the weekend. David Packham opinions on ICP. Do I really have any opinions on ICP anymore? Let's have a look. It's like so 2 months ago, so last month ICP. Eh. At this stage, like literally, only opinion on ICP is wait for it to change market structure. Yeah, it's just bleeding. Like you got this, yeah, like, kind of a wedge ish, maybe. Could you call it that? Do we have a wedge? If I draw it around here somewhere, oh, you maybe possibly have something like this going on, but I mean Doesn't look very good to me. It's extremely narrow, this. So yeah, just wait for a change in market structure, and then maybe this can start to rally. But I think until Bitcoin rallies, ICP is not going to, because it's a Bitcoin blockchain thing. But yeah, like yeah, it's down 50%. So yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It was going through a pretty decent accumulation, making these. It's clear accumulation. It either works or it doesn't, and that's just the way that the market goes. And there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to have your risk management set properly. As soon as you lost like $40, that was when to get out. So you may have made a $10 loss on everything, because there wouldn't have really been a lot of time to get out on this. But yeah, you make that $10 loss on each contract. It's not great, and then you just look for other stuff like ICP. I really don't care about right now. That's trading. Doesn't always work out. So what else is up at the moment? So this is a really interesting chart. So one has come back up into a nice area. I'm not going to cover that too much now, but we're getting some movement on some stuff. 6 minutes into a daily close, so we will see if Luna can get that all-time high close. H bar, yeah. Who was it? Did someone mention seller earlier? Who was that? Because this actually looks really nice. Was it the Nero? I'm sure one of you mentioned seller earlier, and actually this is looking, that's quite a decent looking potential higher low being put in there after a change in market structure at the highs. So you do have this little range going on here. Deviation at the lows, coming back into your 618, probably. Yep. So actually that's quite nice. You can see it holding here and getting move up again if Bitcoin does get a move up. Luxury and French Bull are a lot more bearish than you, Luke. I was actually going to short every high this week. Now I'm not so sure. See, I'm just still trading this both ways. I think we get a move up initially during the week, and like people need to be aware. I think more so like I know French Bull, for example, is looking at a much higher time frame picture. Luxury is, I think, really hoping for for an SFP of those lows down at 29k, which would be lovely. I don't really see that happening. I think the whole market's kind of at that stage. Yeah, we're bear market and things. I just think there's a lot going for 2022 right now. Just fundamentally, that could make things a bit more interesting and could say that, okay, maybe this is just, we're going to get something quite decent. Maybe just another year like we've had at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. I'm very, very neutral. I do think the next move this week will be up, because I do think that's where the liquidity is at this stage. But I would not at all mind a move down into this area. I'm not kind of, yeah. So I'm so neutral. Back here and here, I was like very, very bullish, very, very strong bias that this was going to move up. At this point, I'm kind of prepared to take this either way. I will definitely short any rises, and I will long the dips, and I just keep doing that. Right now, we've got a quite nice invalidation on the lows. Yeah, So I guess the bearish argument, so we can just go through a quick thing of that, is, of course, bearish. Since all-time high, we've not made a single higher low at all. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lower highs right now. Pretty much the same with the lows as well, like forgetting that wick. This is the opportunity now to change market structure because that wick is in. So that is kind of the low is in if we're going to get a change in market structure and start to take out this kind of stuff. So yes, you've got to be playing this as a downtrend, and bounces are good to short, and I've been shorting them. But it's very, very easy right now. It's really not going to take much volume at all to take out some of these. And once you start to take out one, the market will very, very quickly turn bullish. So you just take out a few of these, probably maybe even get a deviation of the range again, but at least at that point you're then taking this local market structure and you're starting to just build that volatility back up again. So yeah, locally downtrend, and you've got to be playing it as that. We are in this local downtrend. We have a bit of a channel here. Okay, so this could continue down, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we do take out these lows, and this could continue down. We enter our next level of support, we come back up to the top of the channel, we come back down, we maybe take out these lows, and then eventually at some point we'll reverse this. So there is that scenario. However, I think from a I'm thinking of this as the perspective of what would I do if I was a whale right now? And I know for a fact that people have bigger losses right now than they've had at any point in the year. The network is as healthy as it's been at any point of the year, so that like hash rate, all of that kind of stuff, making new all-time highs, everything looking very good on the network itself. Retail generally just not being in the market in any way at the moment, and I think that's kind of, oh, we've had our daily close. So our daily close is about as neutral again as you can be. Really not very interesting there. We've had a daily close slightly below this level. Maybe we come down and test this daily. So we do have a daily level here. That would actually be quite nice. See if we can get a move down into this area here. That looks a very, very nice level to take a quick trade off if we do get a quick move down into this. You got a nice pocket of liquidity here. So yeah, we'll see if that happens tonight. That would be very nice. Anyway, yeah, my general thinking is, wouldn't it be really funny if, like, you know that people are at big losses now closing out at a loss, and this is like over the whole year, so people have lost more money over the course of the year than they had at any point, despite us being higher than we were at the start of the year. Most wallets are down. It's at a time when people are going to be away from the market over Christmas period. People aren't really going to be interested in trading. They're going to be kind of bored. They've been selling at these levels thinking that we're now in a big bear market, that they can just buy back in January a little bit lower because maybe we're going into a longer term bear market, wait for a couple of paychecks to clear, get back in around 40k or something. So they've been selling now, paying for Christmas presents, get back in at 40k. All just seems a bit too easy. So if I really wanted to just really mess with like the average trader's head, I just start pumping this over the Christmas week when no one has any money to buy in, because everyone's been selling this, everyone's buying Christmas presents, everyone's disposable income is probably at the lowest point that it's been at the whole year because it's Christmas, it's COVID, no one has any money, in like general retail terms. So I just start pumping it and then force them to buy back in higher, and then you can dump it again when they're all back in the market. It's kind of mean, but that's my thinking. So I think that's probably why I'm a bit more bullish, but overall sentiment, like, I don't care. I'll just trade it level by level still until we know what's going to go on. Um, but we shall see. We're going to get lockdowns that come in after Christmas, I think, in like America and the UK and stuff. So that could hit the markets a little bit. Lockdowns are definitely probably coming back in again. Be interesting to see what happens there. Let's have a look. But yeah, I'm just talking nonsense right now. Kind of an easy question here. For a long, if you got in at 47 and had another chunk to put in, would 45 be a good next target to average things out a bit? Still learning the ropes. So I don't really do like DCAing in. I will just trade level by level and then my profit goes into spot buying. So I've been trading this range really, really nicely. This has been a really nice range to trade, and I'll continue to trade this range. If we do come down into this like 46 100 area, could be a potential nice long position to take. And then I just see the prices at a relative discount now. So if I'm getting profit, then I'll put some of that into spot and I'll buy some spot BTC, I'll buy some spot altcoins, stuff that looks decent around these areas. And if it happens to be the low, great. If it doesn't happen to be the low, I'm very confident at some point within the next year we're going to come back above these prices. So it doesn't matter to me. I'll just buy spot, and then I'll buy more spot lower down once I pay more profit on the trading. So that's just yeah, the general way I like to play things. My spot buying is just kind of fairly constant because I trade mostly in USDT, and then I'll move stuff into spot when I see a good opportunity to do that. What are your thoughts about the correction based on fib time? Do you look at most to one extension or maybe 1.618 to be finished this probably correction? What are your thoughts about correction based on fib time? Okay, so I'm going to Oops. Yeah. What was the fib time stuff we had on here? This is my messy chart. Pull up one of my clean charts. I can't remember. This is my streamer's chart. That's very messy. Okay. So we do have the interesting fib time stuff going on. Again, I'm not going to cover this too much today. But high, low, high. And then we've got wrong one. Always do that. I'm kind of interested, like, realistically in this like next fib time zone that's coming up around like 9th of Jan. Could be quite interesting because if this range does continue, like if we do get a move up, I'm pretty sure we'd come back down to the lows, and you could continue this. So maybe we just take out, I don't know, let's say we go up a little bit, we come down, we do something like this, we then have our final low, and then maybe we can reverse it at that level. You definitely got like, so this is connecting these three. You got some good fib time stuff coming in here. It would make sense to me for this range to continue up for a couple more weeks, we've come down quite a lot. That would be very similar to even just the latter stages of this. So if we do look just at like basically this period of the chart, like you're almost there at that point. So we're not looking at a range as long as what we had back in the summer, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this continue on until early January. And then yeah, other than that, we've got the smaller fib time stuff going on, which doesn't really give us too much confidence anymore. Because we know we hit the 618 and the 1 down here. So what do we do? 2.618. It's not so much confidence with this on the larger time frames. There are. Use one color. Change that to that. Yeah, it's there. There's some stuff here. Maybe something interesting happens in this area. Yeah, we'll see what happens when we get there. Golden pocket on BTC holding. Yes. Yeah, we've not really had any movement so far today. Yeah, we just right now have this, don't we? Golden pocket's a golden pocket. Whoops. Magnet. So that's holding it. Let's mark on the new daily open / weekly open / everything else. Oh, streamy chat is messy. Messy chart. Weekly open. There. So. This thing. They had that quite nice move down on the open, reclaim the daily open, which is now obviously our weekly open, above VWAP. We'll probably get a bit more chop around here for now, but pretty uninteresting daily open here. CME. Doing that. ETH. ETH doing nothing. ETH BTC. Luna. So Luna did not close the daily at all-time high, so it will need to try that again tomorrow. Otherwise, it could get a little bit dumpy. So Luna kind of failing there. That's not great, but it could go again. It could have another attempt at that. You'd probably have some nice confluence down here. Oh, look at that. Where is your previous high from where you had resistance? Bang, into resistance, into resistance, into resistance, break through it. You come back down, maybe back test it at support. That is your local golden pocket. We know how well that works on Luna because where was the whole move from? It was from a golden pocket, so we know this stuff works well. We've also got this little 4-hour OB here. And you've probably got your daily levels up at these highs. At the same area, maybe. Possibly. Do we? Yes, there we go. Well, no wonder that's what the resistance was. Again, I haven't really been looking at this because it was just like, yeah. There you go, there's some confluence. So Luna probably gets a pullback, maybe it gets another attempt at this later on. US futures are diving a bit right now. Yeah, we'll have a quick look at that, and then I think I'll wrap it up in just a moment. Where we wanted it. This is exactly where we wanted it. So yeah, stocks, golden pocket again. Just taking out these lows. Nice start to the week on the stock market. So we'll see if that can get a bounce. I'd expect it probably will get a bounce at this stage. Yeah, so S&P 500 looking pretty good. Doing something very similar to Bitcoin. And a lot of the alts, weirdly. So just taking that little bit of liquidity, coming into the golden pocket, looking quite nice. DXY getting that move up. So the market's actually holding fairly strong against this. So DXY has been pumping a little bit. Well, obviously this has just opened. Yeah, interesting. And BTC moving towards that daily level. Yeah. They've taken out a couple of lows on here. Would be nice to take out that one as well. So you got stops all the way down. Maybe it gets a bounce here and then can start to reverse along with probably the rest of the markets. We shall see. If not, then we know our lower targets. They're down here and probably a SFP of these lows because this happened on a Friday night. So, I mean, they're there for the taking. Certainly wouldn't be surprising if Monday low just had a quick SFP of those and you continue this trend of just taking out lows, getting lower highs, taking out lows again continuously. So we'll have a look at this. I'll have a very brief look at the order flow. And then I'm going to go to sleep. Why is it not like... There it is. Weird. Alright, it's because I had this stupid pen tool. See if it takes out that low. I mean, it's literally right there, so of course it's going to take out that low. Let's see if it hits the daily then. Yeah. Eric, IB part 2 for playbook this week. Part 2? What's part 2? Did I say there'd be a part 2? There must be a part 2. I'll have a look at that. I mean, at the moment this month, we've just been doing the Advent stuff, so doing kind of a bit of content or something each day, and then we'll bring back the playbook in the new year. when we've got the time to do it again. So yeah. But IB part 2 would be interesting. I need to remember what that is. It's probably quite a long time ago. So we've got the initial balance strategy. And we all know the initial balance extensions. I've done what the initial balance means for the day's trading. So I've done something on that. 80% setup is possible here as well. Yes. I'm not going to give too much away on that one in case there's any non-crew members watching. I don't want to give away too much information on that. But we do have the daily open outside of previous day value area. That would be interesting. Yeah, but I think anyway, I'm gonna end it there. So we've had a move down. We'll see what happens with this. I'm going to sleep, so I'm not actually going to be able to trade any of this, but we'll see where it ends up in the morning. We'll see where our low gets put in overnight, and then we'll have a bunch of stuff to trade tomorrow, which will be really, really good. The other quick thing I did want to note as well was Litecoin had a pump back into resistance. So I did just want to quickly mention that it did have this move into resistance, getting that SFP of the highs again. Often if Litecoin pumps, Bitcoin will dump soon afterwards. We kind of have had that, but just be aware that there is that going on. Yeah, you don't often want to see Bitcoin, Litecoin showing strength when Bitcoin isn't, because it doesn't look too good. But anyway, yeah, thank you everyone for watching. If you, again, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Check out tauruscrypto.com so you can check out our website if you would like to know more about what we do. We have our website here, so please do go and check that out. We've got our free Discord on there, and then you can find out more about the crew membership and everything, so tauruscrypto.com. Yeah, that's about everything. So I will see everyone in the morning when we will know what's happened overnight and we will be able to trade it. So there is that potential. We've got the daily level there. I would expect it gets a nice bounce if we hit it, but if it doesn't, we'll know where this ends up tomorrow. So thank you very much, and I will see you.